Fantastic. Hi, good morning. How's everybody doing? It's Maisha T. Hill. I am a Black woman settled on Southern Paiute land. I'm actually a copper colored indigenous Black woman wearing a green bandana and a black shirt, sitting in front of the Heal Your Way Forward wall. As many of you on Substack just saw me update, and for those of you on Instagram, welcome. It's good to see y'all. So thank y'all for being here on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Substack. So today I want to just kind of talk about the cost of burnout because burnout won't get us to liberation. And there is a lot happening in the world today. And it's just interesting times, right? Like, who would have thought we live in a time where the military is doing what it's doing? There's wars, there's takeovers of countries. It's a lot happening. And so, how do we make space for the messiness of humanity? But also, how do we make space for ourselves when you're feeling burnt out? Like burnout comes at cost. Burnout comes at cost that we don't even recognize. Hey, Janine, burnout comes at a cost. So, wherever you do in your life, if you're into liberation work, if you're into whatever you're into, there's a cost from burnout. And I'm not sure if you all can sense the cost or feel the cost, but there is one. And many people are like, "Oh, we're fine. I got this." No, you're not. You're burnt out. You're not doing this sustainably, right? You're saying you're good, but most people really aren't good. Those of us who are saying we're good. Most people I know are not even in their bodies. Everyone is just from the neck up, totally disconnected from feeling anything from the heart down. So, what I want to do before I even go and get into this idea of the cost of burnout, I actually want to invite all of us to really just close our eyes just for a second. If you can, if you can't close your eyes, you can look away, you put your phone down. But I just want you to close your eyes for just a second. And just for a moment, I just want you to notice your body. Like try to move from your neck downward. And as you're thinking about your neck and moving down to your shoulders, your arms, your fingertips, the sides of your legs, the sides of your knee, all the way down to your ankles, your feet, around your feet, you can wiggle your toes. As you think about your body from the neck down, I'm curious if you can feel anything, if you can sense anything, and if you can smell anything. So when I quiet myself down, I can feel my body like relax. I can feel tingly going, like I can feel my body relax, and I can feel some tingling in my arms, almost like a heartbeat. What I can smell is charcoal burning, and actually this candle that's burning. And I can actually feel the air. Season is changing. The fan isn't on, but I feel a slight breeze. And all of this is letting me know that my body is relaxed. Excuse me. Again, we're just noticing. We're just noticing what our bodies feel in this moment. Taking the time to put our phones down, to just be present. And now I'm going to open my eyes and be present for what's alive in three, two, one. Ooh, that felt really good. I needed that. Hey, Tiffany. So, this was a moment of slowing down and trying to notice what you feel in your body. And not everybody can do that because we are a hyper distracted, hyper disconnected collective. There's a lot going on at the same time. We're trying to figure it out and we struggle, right? We struggle with our own slowing down. And so it was hope that that 1 to 2 minutes invited you to come to yourself. All right. So I want to talk about the cost of burnout. And let me put this so people who log in on Instagram know what I'm talking about. And if you see me looking around, it's because I'm live on two cameras. Last week it was three. I got to get that device back. So I will be on three over the weekend. But there is a cost to burnout. And what do I mean the cost? I mean the cost to all of our individual and collective liberation. Um, and um, I just saw something I wasn't supposed to see. I was trying to find my notes. Hey, Kat. When you are burnt out, it is not good for you as an individual or the collective. In fact, I'm looking for a piece of data that I had shared some time ago. It's called activist burnout. And there's a paper on it, and they might have some updated data um, on activist burnout, right? So it's, oh, they deleted that. That's not the one. And this is a really, really old document, but there's a new one, it looks like, from 2024, December 5th. So, activist burnout is a threat to an activist's personal sustainability and the movement's effectiveness, right? And so, there's a study that was born on the No Borders movement in Europe where a team looked at what happens when you're vulnerable, and stressed out. It's called the vulnerability stress model. I like reading things like these. I know that sometimes in some of the books I write, I bring up like research papers I like to read and kind of look at them from the peer perspective. And so, stress vulnerability is really our ability to our environmental predispositions around stress, right? So the stress vulnerability model impacts our mental health. And you can find more about the stress vulnerability model. Just you can put it in Google, you know. But it suggests that there are risks of us developing disorders because of what's happening in our environment. And a lot of us saw this, a lot of my therapist friends saw this during COVID because you had the intake and the uptake of depression, anxiety. You know, right now they're calling it the loneliness epidemic where people are not connecting anymore. And so when you think about vulnerability and stress and how the factors without strong social support systems, good soul care, or healthy coping strategies, we are all going to burn out. And this is by design. Our nervous systems are being shaken by design. And I have said for months, and I will continue to say, this is why we need to reclaim our nervous system. This is why we need to put our phones down. This is why we need to participate in movement work with care for ourselves and the collective. And a lot of people are self sacrificing in the name of liberation, and you're killing yourself. You are talking to someone who have shown you all pictures of me in hospitals because of burnout and stress and panic attacks. The cost of burnout is your own mental and emotional health. And I'm not sure if you've heard me say this, I'm at a part of my journey where I can no longer allow burnout to take me out because my family's history of diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attacks, congestive heart failure, right? We have to start considering, what we need and how we can show up in the collective, how it also supports our mental health. When I first started Check Your Privilege, I started Check Your Privilege because people in white bodies did not recognize how their unchecked privilege and bias and whiteness impacted the mental health of Black and Indigenous bodies of culture. And in fact, Check Your Privilege was started to support my nonprofit at the time, Brown Sisters Speak, which supported Black and Brown and Indigenous women with healing circles and healing spaces. And then we did therapy stipends to see professionals to help them with their mental health. So Check Your Privilege always has had a sister organization, which you got to learn more about in October because we've made a big adjustment to it. But we've always had a sister organization because on one hand, we are showing up, right, to work with white folk. But on the other hand, we are creating containers for Black and Indigenous and bodies of culture to heal and be well. And so it's time to bring that practice back because the work that I've seen done in the last 5 years is leading to the white body's burnout. And that burnout is specifically dangerous because then it starts impacting Black and Indigenous people of culture, our mental health, those of us in liberation spaces, our ability to make money, because white folks are retracting and power holding out of fear. So right now, the burnout, the cost of burnout is the fear. The cost of burnout is white folks opting out. The cost of burnout is white folks who are for liberation not recognizing how they actually look like the left. The cost of burnout is not being open to sit with empathy and compassion for yourself and others. Most of us in this work, well, I'm not including myself, but many individuals I know in this work are so stressed out, are so overwhelmed, are so overburdened, are sitting in so much grief, and you don't know what to do. And my recommendations, one of my favorite recommendations is I call it the triple trinity. My triple trinity includes a spiritual director, a therapist, and a somatic practitioner. And if you can get four, a spiritualist can count instead of a spiritual director. That's the triple threat. But if you want to go deeper, add in astrology and gene keys. Do the opposite of what the system told you to do. Instead of turning on yourself by putting yourself in environments that keep you on the hamster wheel of stress, turn into yourself and ask yourself, be real. Am I burnt out? Am I doing this because I care, or am I doing this because I actually just feel sorry for people? Now is the time to be clear and direct on the journey that we are all on because your burnout is killing collective liberatory movements. You being an activist and being burnt out is, oh my goodness, it just doesn't work. And I didn't get here until a year ago when I got the long COVID. And I started thinking of my family. Um, I I started thinking of my family of origin and some of the things that activate illness, from cancer to hypertension to heart issues to not good blood flow. And I started thinking about how I need to take care of myself and how burnt I was. Like, if you go through my phone and look at images of myself in 5 years, I look tired, stressed out, burnt out, overwhelmed, hospital pictures, and I'm not smiling. The fact that there are no pictures of me smiling in my phone, that people have pictures of me and I just look disassociated. Even when my therapist was like, "Man, you're disassociating. I don't know, how are you doing this?" And I'm telling all y'all, I was drinking. And the drinking was helping my ability to show up. But in the background, no one saw what I looked like because people behind the screen on the other side, most times we're just looking for, what can I get out of this person? What message do they have for me? But we're not thinking of the person on the other side and what they might need and what support might look like for them, or asking them, are you performing? Are you okay? You don't seem like yourself. But that was my family's job, and they were saying that, but I wasn't listening. And now I'm catching up from my repercussions of being sober now for almost 2 years, being burnt out, and setting boundaries of what I will and what I won't do. And like I said yesterday, understanding my role in the revolution. If you do not want to be burnt out, we got to start understanding our role in the revolution. So if you are disabled, and give yourself grace and permission to know your role and to show up for that role without guilt or shame, because the burnout will kill you. Stress is the silent killer, and this system is doing what it does best. It's keeping us asleep to our ability to grow, heal, and change. And we deserve better for ourselves and for the collective. And that's why I talk about healing our way forward. That's why I have this campaign going. And I'm going to do like Home Shopping Network. I'm going live all from Friday tomorrow all the way through Sunday. Because this right here is the only advice that I have for people on a journey right now, is to heal your way forward. And what does that look like? Understanding if you're burnt out, practicing compassion of yourself, understanding that, yes, decenter whiteness does not always mean decenter yourself. I got to keep it real with y'all. You hear decenter whiteness, and most people are like, okay, well, what does that mean? What do I do? Like decentering yourself sets you up for codependency. Can I just keep it real with y'all? Decentering yourself sets you up to be in positions of relationships where people can have power over you. So the goal is not to decenter yourself, because you have to center yourself on your own healing journey. When you're in therapy, it's one-on-one, and guess who's centered? You are. But there's a difference between decentering your participation in whiteness and decentering yourself. You have to center yourself if you're looking at this as a healing journey. And most of us go through the dark night of the soul. There is a difference. Decentering whiteness is different than decentering yourself. And everything I teach and say is countercultural. It's not popular. And I don't care, because those who get it, get it. I'm only here for the people that are ready for the message. And you take what works for me today and you throw away the rest. But if you're not centering yourself, if you're not looking at the ways that you cause harm, that's actually centering yourself. Looking at yourself, you can even get a Barbie. I don't have my Barbies here with me. Looking at yourself and figuring out what does it really mean to decenter myself? What does that look like? And how am I doing it? It's all looking at our behaviors. All of this work with all of these words, the more I study behavior and behaviorists, it's like it's all behavior change. When I think about sobriety, it's all about becoming sober with whiteness. How are you healing that up? What does that look like? Because literally we're in it, but you can be in it and not of it. You can be in the parallel reality. You can literally be seeing what's happening in the world, but also not burnt out. Yes, you can care about people. Yes, you can care about the movement. Yes, you can care. But if you're not caring for yourself, that's your political warfare. Audre Lorde told us that. All of the ancestors, the foremothers, the non-binary folk that have died in the name of liberation, if they weren't assassinated or killed, they died of health complications. Did you all know that? If most of the Black leaders, if they weren't assassinated, they died of health complications. So for me at my age, what that tells me, a woman of my age, you're not going to die from health complications. You're not going to let this work take you out. I even saw an interview with Alice Walker, and Alice Walker was talking about how she had to pull back because of her health. It doesn't mean she doesn't believe in any of this. It doesn't mean that she's not for liberation. It just means that she had to put herself first. So isn't putting yourself first centering yourself? Divesting from whiteness or decentering whiteness is not the same as putting yourself first. This journey is not just collective. There's you as the individual, and then you step onto the playing field and you join the collective. It is the individual and collective. I meet people who come and they're like, I'm not ready to be a part of the group work, but I'll come to any workshops or book one-on-one coaching because I don't trust people, because I'm afraid, because I'm scared. People book, sometimes people need to start individually until they feel that they're ready to join collective. But we don't make space for that. We don't make space in this work. There's, you know what? In my work, there's space for that. Let me reframe that. In my work, there is space for you to center yourself, step back when you need to, and then show back up when you can. But not many people can do that because it's all for the collective. It's all for what everyone else needs. But even when you think it's for everyone, usually there are one, two, three, four. There's usually a collective of people who are being centered. So we have to start being mindful and we have to start considering, what does it mean to be on this liberation journey? How do I, as an individual, show up for the collective? What is my role? My role is teacher, guide. Sometimes my role is writer. Sometimes, and your role changes with every season of your life. So in this season of my life, as I'm still in active recovery, my role is to be guide, practitioner, student at this phase of my life. Every iteration, every season, if we start looking at this as cycles and seasons, right? The fall equinox is coming. Your role might be changing. In winter, your role might change. In spring, your role might change. Maybe you move with the moon. Maybe you're someone who can say, during the new moon, my role moves like this. During the full moon, my role moves like that. I'm someone who personally knows that there is a moment in time that I have to pull back because I can sync with the moon and I can know, like, oh, this is too much for me. It's the cost of burnout. But if you're so burned out, you don't even know your body signals. I mean, all week I've been asking people when I'm live, hey, give me a word to describe what you're feeling in your body. And it's hard to think of that because we're not feeling our bodies. So that tells me we're just reacting and doing things for the sake of, oh, it's just the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. And yes, it's the right thing to do. And also, when are you the right thing to do? When are you going to allow yourself a moment to just breathe? You know, someone said to me, oh, it's such a privilege you could turn your TV off and not know the news and stay informed. Just because I'm not consuming media the way you're consuming media doesn't mean that I'm not informed. I'm very informed. I know what's going on in Gaza and Congo today. I know what's going on in America. But my job is to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. My job is to make sure that me and my kids have and my family, we have our go bags packed if there's an emergency. My job is to make sure we're ready for emergencies. My job is to make sure, in case this government decides that we all need multiple forms of identification, to make sure that my kids have real IDs. My job is to make sure I have multiple copies of birth certificates and social security numbers. I know my job. Do you know yours? Because right now we just know a lot of collective. We know, oh, we gotta, oh, this is happening in Israel. This is happening in Chicago. Oh, we know everything about everybody's business except our own. And that is the cost of burnout. When there is an emergency that happens, you are not prepared. The cost of burnout, being not prepared. The cost of burnout, there is an opportunity, your stress levels go up and your mental health declines. The cost of burnout, being too burnt out to make connections. The cost of burnout, not knowing what you love anymore and starting over. Hello, talking to myself too. Is the cost of burnout worth it? No. So my invitation is for you to divest and decenter whiteness, but center yourself, because we need the individual whole, healthy to be there for the collective. Because right now it's a whole lot of echo chambers, and we're in a different iteration of this work. And I really hope those who hear this message, those who see the replays on YouTube or Facebook, or those who see it on Substack, I hope you all understand that part of healing our way forward is wrestling with the cost of burnout. That alcohol was my answer to burnout because it gave me that boost of energy to work. You know what I mean? What is burnout costing you right now? You showing up for the everything in the collective or everybody else. You having the fear of disappointing people because you need to take care of yourself. Let's do something different today, yeah? So if you know you're tired and you know you're burnt out, I dare you. If you need to make a doctor's appointment, make a doctor's appointment. If you need to go get a massage, go get a massage. If you need to get your nails done, go get your nails done. Do something that makes you feel good. The opposite of burnt out. If for you, laying in the bed feels good, I challenge you not to scroll, but I challenge you to find some. I like to listen to binaural beats. So lay in the bed, light some incense, and just turn on binaural beats. Do something different. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Was that Albert Einstein? I think that's Albert Einstein. Maybe it's not. Yes, it is Einstein. Albert Einstein said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I have such a love for scientists. Now, I'm probably supposed to be some sort of scientist just because of my curiosity. They always are curious, they always having hypotheses, and they actually have to put in the work to see if it's true, right? I have a hypothesis that if you take 1 hour out of your day and try something different that's not going to burn you out, you'll start to see different results. Shout out to members of the collective who's doing the social media detox. They're on day 18. And today, their prompt for their social media detox. I'm trying to pull up their prompt. Gratitude in action. So the prompt in the gratitude group was, how does expressing gratitude shift their perspective and what are they grateful for right now? And so every day in the gratitude, in the social media reset group, there's different prompts. And the last couple of days, prompts have been self-reflection about, what are you noticing since being off social media? And what are you grateful for since being off social media? And people are giving like real live testimony around what's alive for them and what they are witnessing in this moment. So, what is the cost of courage and chaos? Courage and chaos. What is the cost of burnout? And do you have the courage to walk away from the chaos? Let's say it that way. All right. So, again, our challenge today is what, friends? Try to find something to cultivate joy. That's the opposite of burnout. One thing today. And then I'll be live later tonight, and hopefully you can join me and we can check in. But burnout comes at cost that you don't want. Trust me. So I hope you find yourself some joy today. I hope today was helpful. Remember, 3K in 30 days. I'm putting in an order today of books for those who have ordered copies of Heal Your Way Forward, the whole bundle kit. I'm adding to the bundle kit next week. Can't tell y'all what it is yet. But thank y'all for your support. I have a goal number for the weekend, which is why I'll be live more often starting tomorrow. But really, really excited for the opportunity to be here with each and every one of you. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Thank you. And I'll see you all on the live later tonight.